I'd like to call the meeting to order and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We need a couple things added to our agenda. We'll do it down here under 6, C and D. Letter of intent for community crossings. C, D, an invoice from Thomas Glass for repair of the front door. Any other additions, modifications, or changes? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll make the motion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Got a full house. Ed Schreiber, you're the first one on the list.
Okay, my name is
You need to come up here, huh? Sorry.
Our microphones don't pick up real well from there.
Nah, I'll find something. I'll get Mr. Cole pictures of it already. Where I need to stand, just in front of it.
Just right here at the podium.
My name is Ed Schreiber, SCHEIBER. And I'm here to represent me and my brother, Paul Schreiber, that we do not vacate County Road 95, or as called the Haggard Road, from the point of where the petition stated down to the Lincoln Ford that crosses the middle part of the Anderson River. And the reason we don't want it shut is that I need access to get to my farming property that I own south of the middle park, on the west side and the north side, and partially on the east side by the Lincoln Ford. And the reason that I need access to go down that road is that the fluctuation of the water levels on the middle fork of the Anderson River, whether it's headwater from raining that shuts it down that I can't cross, or it's backwater from the Ohio River, which can shut down my crossing to get to my property south of the middle fork for a day. It could be a week, and it could be a month. The rains we had in June, I had that property planted, and it was from like the middle of June that to the middle of July that I couldn't access that property to, get across the middle fork. So
You're talking about right here, correct?
yeah,
Up in here?
right here's the middle, the old Lincoln Ford right there.
Yes.
Pretty historical site. Getting back to the we did in the past to get to that property. Well, I think that road was built in 1906 or somewhere in that time frame. And when we purchased that property, my parents did in the early 50s. We've been there since that time, owning that real estate on that side. And we went down County Road 95, or the Haggard Road, in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, when we couldn't access the property by crossing the middle fork because the water levels was too high. And then sometime in about 1992, it was kind of a difficult situation for the county highway department because of the road, and they have to clean it out when the water levels got up and put high water road signs up. So basically it was kind of probably a liability in one way or another, that the county kind of highway department or whatever, I don't know if there's any meetings on that or anything, that they kind of quit maintaining that part of the County Road 95 or the Haggard Road on that side. So the property owners at that time were the Wheatleys, and they come to us and stated that, they was changing their farming operation from a row crop renting it to the government CRP program, and they was going to put gates up on their property and to try to keep people coming down that county road because they wanted their field and four-wheelers and stuff like that. So they told them, come to us and stated that they'll give us a key to unlock the gate to go across their CRP property to get to our farming property on the west and the north side. And that's what we've basically been doing the last 30 years in case we have to get over there for some reason that we can't wait for the water in the middle part to recede to cross. So we would like to have that, county road remain a public right of way to get access to our property down there. And it's a case to where, I don't know if how it could be worked out, but I wouldn't have any qualms of going and cleaning that 2,800 feet of road out with the brush and stuff that's grown up in it up to the corner where they call Apple Road, and I wouldn't charge the county anything for it. But that's the reason that we need to keep that road open as a public roadway, because I got to have access to my property on that south side of the middle part of the Anderson River when I cannot, cross it because of the water level.
How long actually is this a Hagerton Road?
The whole road from
The whole road.
start of Alpine to the end of Apple,
Yes.
probably speaking, I'd say 3 or 4 miles,
3 to 4 months.
3 miles, something like that. If you take into account that it's 2,800 feet from Apple Road down to the Lincoln Ford, and it's probably the same type of distance, because that's about a half a mile or what. So it could probably be, because it winds down on the east side going toward Atlanta Road. So it's probably in the neighborhood of 2 to 3 miles, something like that.
Okay. And is it traveled any at all besides your farming property or any?
Well, the county maintains the road up to the Lincoln Ford on the Joe Hagerton side, or the, from called Alpine Road, and they maintain it on the other side from Atlanta Road up to the Apple end of Apple Road. And I think there's one individual that lives up there. That, it's like, we'd like to have it see that stays open and clean it out so that when I, need to get to my property, I have an access to it. Because used to I had an access because the Wheatleys were our neighbors for 70-some years, and they allowed us to cross their CRP property without any questions asked. Now, since they sold the property to the Bates Estates LLC, then, I still need an option to a public roadway to get to my property to, without having to cross anybody else's property or get any other kind of agreement.
Would that be landlocking you if it was?
Technically, it's landlocked when the elevations of the water on the middle fork of the Anderson River is exceeded, whether it's a day or it could be a month. When the Ohio River comes up, backs up, it might be 3 weeks before it recedes. Right. And, the rains that we had in June was something that you don't happen very often, and we hope it don't happen because, everything that I had planted along the bottoms of the middle fork, they pretty well was toast. So they don't have no crops in them.
All right.
So if I understand correctly, it's forested now, but the way you had access because your neighbors said you could just come across to our ground.
They didn't, since the county didn't really maintain it, it grew up in bushes,
They just
briar bushes.
Yeah.
But
you just turned around and they just let you cross wherever you needed to.
what's called the county road ended, Apple Road is called now, at the place where the old Wheatley's homestead was. So basically, from there down to the Lincoln Ford, the bushes growing up in the trees. But, that pretty well has been in the last 25 years or whatever, because it's still halfway maintained in the 90s or whatever. And that 2,800 feet from there up to the corner, that, it wouldn't take me very long to clear that brush and stuff with my equipment, and I wouldn't charge the county anything but it'd have to be an arrangement to where it has to follow the guidelines of whatever the highway department or whatever they're doing the work. But, that's the reason that the Shivers want to keep that property, that access, public access open so I can get to it without having to negotiate a easement or a roadway or some other deal to get to my farming property on the west side and the north side of the Bates property now. Any other questions?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next one up is Daryl Schmidt.
Well, hello, everyone. My only reason for coming down today was just to introduce myself. I'm our state senator for District 48, which composes Perry, Crawford, Spencer, DuBois, Pike, and Gibson counties, those 6 counties. So I just have been going around to different meetings throughout the district, town council, city council meetings, and I have never been to a Perry County Commissioners meeting. I've been to Troy and Tell City Council meetings, been to the County Council meetings. So as I just go around the district trying to listen, represent 140,000 people in District 48. Also, since Indiana is a part-time legislature, I'm a farmer. If anybody knows where Ireland or Otwell on the DuBois Pike County line, I'm a farmer there. That's how I actually make my money. And then other than that, I'm just trying to help and represent the people. So I just want to introduce myself, and if you have any questions, okay, I'm always available to answer. And then I'm also on the 26th of August, next Wednesday, I'm having town hall listening sessions all across District 48. So this coming, today's Tuesday. A week from Wednesday on the 26th, I'll have a town hall listening session at the Derby Community Center from 5:30 to 7 Central Time. Love to have everybody come up. It'll be me there just listening to anything, issues constituents might have in the county. So thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Daryl.
Thank you.
Keisha, is it Hanning?
Evan?
Hanning?
And I ran out of staples on my last copy, so somebody is going to be out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Keisha Henning. I'm asking Perry County to independently review its relationship with Rivers Edge Animal Shelter. I'm not asking you to assume anyone committed a crime or violated a law. I'm asking you to resolve documented questions about governance conflicts and the services Perry County is helping fund. The first exhibit is the 2024 interlocal agreement and also the contract between Rivers Edge and Perry County. My first question is, who are the actual voting directors of Rivers Edge? Exhibit 2 is the state business entity report. It identifies Molly Hagman as the president. And it also was signed by Christina Hammock under the title treasurer. I also have written messages from Chris stating that she asked Molly whether Molly had listed her as a board member. Molly said yes, and Chris stated she did not recall joining the board and attending any meetings. I'm not asking you to decide from a message whether Chris legally is or not a director. I'm asking the county to obtain the records that should answer that question. The current bylaws, the current director list, the current records of appointment, election, meeting minutes, and written board consents. Also, the IRS filings are Exhibit 4 that shows where the officer titles are listed, compensation, hours, and financial reporting. The Exhibit 6 and 7 shows the independent oversight. Chris is the Perry County Auditor and is also identified in the Rivers Edge State filing as treasurer. I have learned that she has filed conflict disclosures, and I am including those disclosures. She did offer those as soon as I came to her. After I spoke with Chris at the auditor's office about Rivers Edge and records, she did contact Molly. I have messages acknowledging that contact. I'm not claiming that phone call was illegal. I am asking the questions involving Rivers Edge be reviewed independently, and that the commissioners determine what safeguards and recusals are appropriate under the disclosures in the county contract. My third concern is whether personal disputes can affect publicly supported animal services. I contacted Molly about 3 very young kittens, and it was initially told I could bring them in for help with feeding. She was going to show me how to properly feed them and make them use the bathroom. After I arrived, she refused assistance once she realized who I was. That was due to an unrelated food trailer involvement. I'm not asking you to decide the motive for my statement alone. I have preserved the original video. I am asking the county to determine exactly what services it is paying Rivers Edge to provide, what written intake and refusal policies apply, and whether unrelated personal or business disagreements are permitted to affect those services.
Let me be the first to respond. You've got.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is a
You
lot
got-
of
this is
paperwork to
a
look
lot.
at.
This is a lot.
I figured.
And what actually would help us a lot is that if you presented this to us earlier and got on our agenda, where we
Okay.
had a chance to read through it in advance, because right now,
It's
When I
all-
came into the office, I did ask to be put on the agenda. Chris told me that I could just to sign up under public comments.
it always helps us to be on the agenda if you're gonna provide some documents, because then it gives us a chance to actually kind of read through them,
Okay.
so we have a better idea, because this is a lot of information. that we need to look
Oh,
at.
absolutely.
What we currently do under this relationship is we contract for that services, and we have a contract with them to provide it. Now, I don't want to get into speculating as to what may or may not be occurring, but they run the animal shelter,
Correct.
and they follow whatever the guidelines are, whatever the oversights is. I think the state will have certain.
Yeah, the 501c3,
Yes, and so that's the case now. If we get into,
which you have all of that. That
Right.
is, yeah.
that's why we need to read through it. If there's something that's ongoing, between the county and there, we just need to sort through this. And I can probably tell you right now, we'll have to consult our attorney.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
he'll
the
kind of
main
guide us
thing.
through this process.
Yeah, the main thing that I've seen on there is that there's not 3 board members. From what I can see, it's showing on 2023 and 2023 on the 990 EZs that were filed. It shows 2023 shows Molly, and then Chris listed as treasurer. And then the 2024 only shows Ann and Molly, or Ann and Chris, I'm sorry, listed as vice president and treasurer. Molly's not even listed on the 990 EZ for 2024. But it states on there to list all members and voting direct, anybody that's on there, and those are the only 3 people listed. So in order to have a legal 501c3 in Indiana, you have to have 3 directors. You have to have the president, vice president, and treasurer. And right now, the treasurer is stating she's not the treasurer. So that was my concern.
This is something that we're gonna have to get legal counsel, because
Okay.
under our agreement, I believe it states that it's a 501c3.
Correct.
And the perception is that it's in good standings with the state, so.
Okay,
we would
that's why
have
I
to
wanted to bring it to your attention.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see. Next one is we have L. Joseph Haggerty.
He's very hard headed. He does have hearing.
I'm glad he sat in the front row because the traveling to the,
That's the reason he does that, because, yes.
You need just a little bit of time.
you take all the time you need.
I'm gonna move this over so I don't look at that computer. I'm gonna look at the commissioners.
Thank you.
That works.
Okay, Randy, Pam, and Rebecca. I am Leonard Joseph Hagedorn, better known as Joe. I was born in 39, so you can do the math. I'm not a young chicken. I'm here not to speak for myself, but for the generation behind me, younger people. Now, I got a map here that shows where I live, and I'll pass it to you. I live in section 28. This is a road that's in debate tonight. I live right here on Alpine Road. From this road here to the creek is a county road that the road superintendent, my good friend, said was closed. I said, no, if it was closed, I would have been notified. That road, I would wish each one of you would come drive from here to there. You can take a Cadillac, you can take whatever you want. I spent $30,000 of my own money to bring that road up to snuff. Everybody in here knows what I've done. Now, that's putting my money where my mouth is at. Not for me, I'm 87. Okay, now, here's something that hasn't been mentioned. This crossing here is a historical crossing. It is called the Lincoln Ford. Now, if you're my age and listen to your predecessors, Abe Lincoln toured the Middle Fork and the Anderson looking to put a grist mill. Okay, the Lincoln Ford was declared not feasible because the natives told him when the Ohio River came up and flooded, his mill would not work. So Abe moved on to Illinois. Now, to show you the importance of that crossing, Christmas cards used to be made by the thousand and sold as a major historical site for Perry County. I crossed that road, Alpine, they call it Apple, on the other side, going to church day after day, 8 of us in the old 36 Chevy. It was a decent road. It is still very good from my property to the creek. I invite any of you to come and see it. Now, here is the thing. If we go to the process of shutting down, I own property next to Mr. Schreiber. I own property next to Mr. Javardin, who's here today, and I own property across the creek. If this road is closed, there's no way for me to get to my property except swim the creek. And I've got arthritis and 87, and I do not wish to swim or try to wade the creek. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Please
don't allow that road to be closed. Maybe I don't have many times to wade the creek, but for the future generation. Now, historically, Kathy Finley, who is a photographer and a very known person, has been there many a time and taken pictures and wanting to know the history of the Lincoln Ford. And I fill her in from what has been told.
Some of the papers that came out on this meeting called it the Hagedorn Road. They must have really went back to my great-grandfather who bought the land that I own today from two sharecroppers who could not pay their taxes. But right now, my property deed calls for the center of Alpine Road is my property line. So I do pay taxes on part of the road. I have no problem with that. I've done it for years. Now, so what I'm saying is if we want to go backwards, start shutting down things just because maybe they were neglected, you know. The road superintendent, Steve, a good friend of mine, he has helped me a little bit, but like I told you, I put my mouth and my money together, and we got a good road to the Lincoln Ford. To me, it's more than just a Ford, it's a historical place. We should not destroy history. We might as well take the Statue of Liberty down and burn the Constitution and go backwards, you know. And we don't want to do that. If you've got any questions as far as what I have said, is to explain why we need not to go backwards.
I appreciate your time, and I definitely will drive it.
Hmm?
I will definitely come out and drive it.
Thank you very much for
I
listening.
appreciate it
And,
also. This is getting interesting.
like I say, I have been a Perry County man all of my life. I've served on many, many boards, planning and zoning for 40 years. I might have issued the permits to some of your houses, I'm not sure. But I'm always been a backer of Perry County, and I will always be.
Well, thank you very much, and don't you be swimming that creek, okay?
He's so very hard of hearing that he can't hardly.
Well, thank you.
Well, he made his point though.
Then he
Very well.
knows what he's talking about.
Okay.
So the next one we have is Judith Haggard.
Okay, I was just, put my name on there, let me come up here. Because I was coming with him, and I thought there might be some questions or other that, and I just wanted to explain that he is so severely hard of hearing. He does have hearing aids, and it's all been tested, but it's nothing works much for him anymore. So, but I knew that he would do an excellent job, but I just wanted to be a backup for him in case he needed any help.
And then his road, he's improved his road to the creek, right? On that
Yes,
side of it.
But he
It's
does,
improved.
actually does not want the other side to be closed because we have crossed that and they used to use that road to go to St. Mark Church all the time when the creek was down.
Okay.
Okay.
and For the family.
Mhm.
And so it was very well used then.
All right.
And I had to state that.
Thank you.
It's not a creek, it's the middle fork of the Anderson River.
River, that's right.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Got any more questions?
Thank you.
And your husband is very entertaining.
Well, yes, I know it is.
Very well spoken.
Has been for us.
Next up is Dan
We
Bates.
got married in 1960.
Thank you. Thank you all. I've never met a single one of you, but I think it's important that you know, I mean none of you any harm whatsoever, okay? Truly, I mean none of you any harm, and no matter the outcome of this or anything else, I still want to be a good neighbor. And so I may have an opinion about something I want to do, but in my heart, I just want to make sure you know I want to be a good neighbor. Okay, so however it goes, it goes.
The one thing I think is important to clarify based on the survey, the legal survey that's recorded there, is that I have no objection whatsoever to the current county maintained road, Alpine Road, that provides access to the ford that was mentioned earlier. And I think that's a wonderful thing. The other thing I think about is that as evidenced by the trees on it that are on my property, the Bates Estates LLC property, which is just me, that's it, just me, those trees are sizable, and that road is impassable and has not been passable for, based on the evidence I heard earlier, at least 25 years, but based on the size of the trees, much greater than that. And a combine won't go down that road. It's not wide enough. Modern farming equipment won't go down it. It's not wide enough. It's too deep. It's too steep. And it was abandoned, I imagine, I speculate, because it's not a great place to put a road. And it's expensive to maintain, and it's currently a liability, as evidenced by the fact that it was removed from the record, the county record, or the maintenance record, long time ago. I don't know exactly how long ago. But my goal really is to expand the tillable land that I have by providing access toward the east side of my property. My intention is to provide better access to my 5-acre field, which I can't get a combine to. My most northern field I can't get to with a combine now. And my hope is to open a bigger, better, more modern road approved by the county that is a private road that doesn't provide just an endless supply of public access, so that I can get to the 5-acre field, which is adjacent to my neighbor, Mr. Scheiber, because I can't get there now from my side. Okay. But Alpine Road is a county maintained road that a person can get to. The other thing is, from a legal perspective, I'm not an attorney. I don't have a degree in law. Didn't go to law school, but a landlocked property is a property that is truly landlocked, but not by a circumstance like flooding. And so if parts of my property are flooded, they are not legally landlocked. They are simply flooded. The other thing, I may go out on a limb here to say that I am a friend to every farmer I meet, and I could see myself, if Mr. Scheiber wanted access to that. There's no way to get there currently. It would all have to be opened up. We'd have to get a dozer in there, something like that, because there's no ready access between the two properties from Hagedorn Road. There's no access there now, in the sense that you can't drive any piece of equipment other than a bulldozer through there to create a new road or new access to Mr. Scheiber's property. Now, I've not stepped foot off of my property. I've stood on the edge of it and looked towards what is described as the foot. And it's all grown up on the side that is closest to me. But there's no access there. Nobody could drive through there. If there was a rain event, you can't get there from the property that I own. I'd like to enhance the value of my property with it having a public road through it, where essentially anybody could drive through anytime they want. It takes away from the privacy. And ultimately, I bought the property because I like to deer hunt, I like to squirrel hunt, I like to rabbit hunt, I like to do those things privately with my family. And I enjoy the peace and quiet that comes from that. And in today's modern world, if people realize they have ready access, they may decide that they want to go down through there. The Wheatleys put up a gate for a reason. And at the time, they had CRP, according to Mr. Scheiber, they had CRP in there now, but I've got Kevin Peter and his family farming it. They're wonderful people, and I'd like to see them expand the tillable. And if you take a look at the survey there, at the entrance to the property, there's about 2.5, maybe 3 acres right there. It's just grass field, and it's very hard to farm because that road cuts right through there. And so, to fire up the planter and plant that little place right there is kind of tough. But if I had a road of my own, a private road that would flank my east property line, conceivably, if Mr. Scheiber would let me, I would allow him, if there was some form of access that actually came to his property from mine, I would absolutely, for the purpose of farming, allow him to go down that road without hesitation. I'm a friend to every farmer I meet. My family was in farming for years. I grew up on a small farm myself, and I don't want to deny anybody access to something that's important. The last thing that comes to my mind is I'm a history buff, and everything that all of you have said about the history of the place is truly interesting to me. My hope, as my time permits, is to get to know each of you more personally, if you would allow me. I've had some troubles in my life here in the beginning of this year that have prevented me from visiting the farm very often, and my wife is in a medical situation. I just brought her home from the hospital last Tuesday, and she's recovering well, but she's got a long road to recovery. I won't bore you with that story, but if I haven't met you till now, it's not because I haven't wanted to. I just have been in Indianapolis at IU Health dealing with that. And so again, I don't mean any harm to any of you, and no matter how it goes, I want to be a good neighbor. Okay.
Thank you.
Do we need, could we get phone numbers or something for all of them in case we do need?
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah,
One more
Can we,
you.
can we get phone numbers for the contacts for everybody on that? Okay.
Yeah, for all
Before
the
you leave, just
adjoining
make sure we have a
landowners.
way to contact you.
Yeah.
We're getting a whole lot of information here that's, Regina Schreiber.
Can I say something?
Yes, sir. You come on up here. I like you.
I spent 40 years in this type of meeting in planning and zoning. And I know one thing, I have nothing against the man that's gonna be my neighbor. But when you close a road, if this is the road and that gentleman owns on this side and on that side, this is his. And you cannot step on his property if you don't want it. And there's a big difference in closing a road that is owned by me and owned by you, but when it's owned by one person, that road becomes his. That's the law in Indiana. You can check it out. I know. Been there and done that.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Regina Schreiber,
Hi.
my husband Ed Schreiber. We do own property across the middle fork of the Anderson River, and if you would close that county road, we would have no legal access to that road when the water's up, the headwater, the backwater, or the middle fork of the Anderson River would elevation, the water would rise and stay up. That would eliminate any of our legal access to that road or to our property back here. But like Joe, and I have 3 children. His brother who owns property back here, they have 2 children. It's the future also.
You
And
have-
like my husband, I
Your property's to the very east, correct?
yes,
Okay.
It's to the west of the Bates property and to the north of the.
Okay,
And then,
that's what I'm,
portion of that by the Lincoln Fork.
okay,
I think you'll see Edward Schreiber and Robert
Yes.
Step Schreiber. And I'll reiterate what he said about, we have a dozer, we could open that road up with permission of the county or whatever it may take, but it'd have to be out there killing frost. I'm not dealing with turkey ticks.
I know.
I have my work boots on and my chainsaw, we'd be over and have that road open in a week or 2.
Okay.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you.
Thank you, Regina.
Before you leave, if we could get everybody's contact numbers, we'll put them on, I'll just put them on this list here. Yeah, so that my feelings right now, and that's down on our agenda a little farther, but I think we're gonna have to go out there and visit it. We're gonna have to see it. We've seen the maps and that, but to really get an idea, we need to go out and take a look at it. I think there's a solution here. I don't know what it is,
You write it
but
down.
I think there is one. So
There's Joseph Haggard.
we'll,
812
we'll figure something out. I think everybody in
825
here for the right reason.
45. You got it.
So Dan, you're the next one up, but do you still have additional to add to this?
Call me day or night. It don't matter.
Okay.
No, the only thing I think about is if the road was on my east property line instead of cut through the middle,
it'd be perfect. I wouldn't even be here, you know? And if my neighbors were the only folks that had access to it and those only people that wanted access to it, I'm in.
See, that's what we gotta think this through. It's kind of caught us off guard. But,
Well, I'm a man of compromise,
there's
absolutely.
some way, that there's a solution here.
Yes.
I really believe that there's a solution.
Yeah, I want to come out and look.
Everyone will be comfortable with.
When
We
you
can
pull
get there.
up to my gate, look to your right, go about 100 yards, and I left an opening there. There used to be a gate, took the gate down so that if somebody needed to get in there, they can.
Okay.
And you can, with a four-wheel drive vehicle, you can drive to that point. And if you bear directly to the right, in the middle, you're gonna go through, you're gonna come up to that road. There's two markers there where the gate post used to be, and it kind of dips down. So I wouldn't go in there with a dual drive vehicle. And you turn to your right or to the north, and that's the road. But you can't drive there. You pass that. But you can pull up there and you could walk and see. But if you continue on further to the west, out into the open field and bear to the right, there's another path that you can follow. You can't walk on the road. But if you bear to the right, follow the field edge, and continue north, go west and then north, you can find the old road. It's deeply entrenched and whatnot, but you can tell it's a cool old road.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
All right,
Thank
thank you.
you bet.
And what's the easement on one of them old
Steve, do we have anything recorded? I kind of doubt it.
I'll have to look at the.
Yeah. Most of the time,
The state map and see what we're getting paid to maintain, that's what we've been going by.
Yeah.
But, I've probably got a right of way on Alpine, that's probably less, but I'll look tomorrow in the morning and see.
Yeah.
Okay.
what normally happens with these roads, this is how it all occurs. Years ago, and then whether it's the state, whether it's the county, whatever, people just gave the road to the government unit because they were gonna come in and establish a road system and start maintaining them. And everybody thought, great. So we have got kind of a Duke's mixture. I know some of the state highways, it's where the snake crawled or however it used to be, you'd think they'd put it on a section line, but wherever it twisted around, and then that just became the road. And in some cases, because I've ran into state highways, old ones, they don't even have any recorded width of the easement. It's just, you took it over and it was never established. So this will take us a little bit. We'll have to look back into the recorder's office if Steve doesn't have documents to see exactly how this thing was originally in the county's name and what size it was. And that'll kind of give us an idea. Did you have your ground surveyed?
I did, and then.
Did he
Yes, it's the
call out dimensions on that?
He did not call out the dimensions because there aren't any.
That's what I suspect.
That's where the problem starts.
Right. So now we have, yes.
Mhm.
And that's what we get into in these.
40 foot road from my house to the creek, 40 foot.
Now,
That's on the Alpine side.
yeah, that's on the Alpine side. Yeah.
What about the Apple side?
North of the Bacon Fork to my house, which is Avery Ridge Road,
See, and
40 foot.
but we've got a lot of roads in the county that's a lot narrower than 40 foot, I want to tell you.
Now, on a standard, like easement on a property line that Mr. Bates was talking about putting, is there a 20 foot, 30 foot, or is there a set amount? Or is it gonna be a 60-foot thing if the county's gonna take?
What was the minimum
Steve, what
road
is
of
that?
that, Steve? Is it 30?
30 from the center line?
I know of. I've got a card file out there that's been there for, I guess, since they made the roads. And it's got cards in there of everybody's name that they ever signed their right of way over to the county. It's got their name and what the rule width of the right of way was. I'll look through all that in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm thinking 30 was kind of, if we have it
Kind of a standard.
actually documented.
That's from the
Because we
center.
try to maintain an 18-foot road plus the ditches and enough, on the sides of it to keep it in shape. But
Mhm.
there's areas we don't have that much.
But now on the right-of-way part of it, if it went from the end of Apple Road down to the Lincoln Ford, and they did a right-of-way deal road, that would have to be to where the other three or count me 4 property owners that own real estate on both sides of the middle part of the Anderson River, that they would all have to come to an agreement if they
I would think so.
want to ever go that route.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the County Road 95 is a public
Public road.
road right now, and being wide enough for a tractor or a combine to get down, I am too concerned about that. I just want access that I can drive a pickup truck or a tractor down it, but I don't need to put a wide piece of equipment down that county road. I'll just have to deal with the issues of water level on the middle part, to bring combines and stuff whenever I get across.
We just need to look at it and then try to do a little research. And then we were gonna all visit it, just to see, and then,
Historical part.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
Yeah.
They Lincoln slept up there, like Joe and Joe Cabin a couple of times.
Joe, he does.
so I would say we'll table this.
Dave Lincoln was there.
You go to school with him.
I have the 6th generation that lives on the farm that I own today. My son has bought it from me, and his son is backing him up. Okay, now, when Abe Lincoln left Kentucky and was sued, they had to get out of the state. That was the verdict, get out. They moved to Troy, and they didn't have a pot to piss in or nothing else. And Abe was a young man who was adventurous and was trying to pull the family together. Now, historically, Abe Lincoln is as good as George Washington or any of our presidents we've had. Now, the thing about this Lincoln Ford is it is not just a stream on the Middle Fork Creek. It is a historical landmark. It should be promoted with a sign or something.
Mm-hmm.
But some people don't want nobody to know about it. I welcome any of you to come with me, and I would be glad to show you what they're trying to do in Perry County. A lot of my neighbors agree, So now, obviously, the Hagedorn Road is south of the Ford. Is that where you came up? I never have heard of the Hagedorn Road in my life. Now, it was always Forks of the Creek, Alpine Road, but now I see Hagedorn Road. So I'm assuming if this is the creek, that's south going to Apple, must be someplace named Hagedorn. Now, I did have great uncles who owned a lot of property at one time in that area, and probably some old papers might have called that Hagedorn Road. Yeah.
It was typical. If you lived there, that's how it got its name.
Yeah, it was interesting, yeah.
Yep, that makes sense.
You talk about road building. My father during the Depression, some of you may know where Avery Ridge is at. It's one of the scenic routes now. Avery Ridge, Apollonia Ridge, St. Minded Road. I know them all. I helped set them up. For $1 a day, a team of moose and a dirt scoop during the Depression, he raised 8 children building Avery Ridge Road. You talk about people stepping in. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I would entertain a motion to table this until we can get additional information and get our county attorney and get some information from Steve on what we got. So we make a little more.
I make a motion to table.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Next item we have is minutes from August 3rd, 2026.
I make a motion to approve.
Abstain.
I will second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next item up, we have payroll for August 14th, 2026 in the amount of $173,577.18.
I make a motion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Payroll withholding for the same date, August 14th, 2026, in the amount of $36,738.86.
I make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Vision insurance payments in the amount of $287.69.
I make a motion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Dental insurance payments in the amount of $357.10.
I make a motion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Life insurance payments in the amount of $1,598.03.
I make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Health insurance claims in the amount of $28,838.83.
I make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Solid waste claim docket for 8/18/2026 in the amount of $6,478.98.
I make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Next item is accounts payable for 8/18/2026 in the amount of $1,153,440.58.
I make a motion.
We have a question on the one invoice. We want to adjust that. There's an invoice in there for $129,000, but it's broken down into a multitude of other payments.
So that's the one I emailed you on the Verkamp construction for 48,000.
From the highway,
Yeah, and then the invoice.
148,000?
Yeah.
129
I think the invoice total is 148.
or 48.
Total, because it looks like 20,000 was already paid. So it'd be 149 in total.
That would add up then, right?
I think the question is how it's broke down
Oh, okay.
and whether there's something of an issue with one invoice that size and how it's being paid. So do we want to?
I'd like to table the Dirkels excavating and the Verkamp to see if they were,
Is it 129 then?
the total currently is 129,775.
Okay. So I'm gonna change that to paying the accounts payable
Minus that.
to $1,023,665.58, which should $1,023,665.58.
I make a motion to approve
Second.
As amended.
as amended.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
We have a PCDC affidavit, which is from RES, I believe, their initials. Again, they monitor the, it's 2,300. It is for stream mitigation, invasive species.
Yeah.
We've got a contract with that, and it's paid out of the bond proceeds from the Riverview Industrial Park.
That's for 23, right?
Yeah, 23, and they've got a contract, and we're slow. They come up and monitor it.
No, that's for 2,300.
Yep.
I make a motion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Solid waste fees, I think this is Chris's, and what that is that we have the solid waste. They didn't do a very good job of this. They pick up, it's paper containers. They're in like 40 pound or maybe 50, I'm not sure. They're on rollers, and they go around and pick up paper and different things like that at numerous different businesses. Some were paying, some were not paying. And what they wanted to do was get consistent. So they were either going to stop charging everybody or start charging everybody, either way. And they should have notified everybody of the changes, and they didn't. They sent them a bill, and they caught several people off guard because they just got a bill, and they wondered why. In discussing this with them, the decision was made, they'll rip the bill up, for anyone that doesn't want the service. What it is, it's a pickup truck and either one or two men that come in, bring a roller in, change the paper out, bring it back, and I think the fee is $38. I
A month.
remember. Yeah, a month. So if no one wants the service that's been getting it free, the bill will be ripped up. If you want the service, then they'll continue to bill it. One opportunity for anyone that I think we're charged a trash fee on our utility bills from Tell City. Tell City has a curbside recycling. So it can be put out whenever they come through and pick it up. And that's a no cost, and that's taken to the solid waste. We just don't have the pickup and the man personally going down on call and picking things up. So that's what that amounts to. The question is, if the county wants to do this, I would just use curbside recycling and then discontinue the service as
I was
well.
asked, do we need, since it's county, do we have to have an ordinance with these fees? I've been asked that. So I was gonna get with, find out that, but I haven't had a chance.
You might find out, because if there's a,
Because I feel like
to have an
I
ordinance
have
with
to have
it.
an ordinance to go with the fee, any fees that are charged.
Yeah.
So,
See, what we have right now, they charge for their cardboard and they charge for this. But some of the government units were getting free ones, some even private businesses were getting free ones. And then other private businesses were
Yeah.
being charged.
somewhere,
So it
somewhere.
was simply getting it
but I think
even.
that was from before they were associated with the county. So what I'm
Exactly.
saying is I
And
think
it
we
just-
might need to do an ordinance
Right.
with those
Yeah.
fees.
Whatever we need to do.
And that would make it across the board.
Right, it makes it consistent.
One other thing that I want to say that is that the county trash tags have changed to blue. There was such a color, Tell Cities was orange, am I
No, they
correct?
were red.
They were red and ours were supposed to be orange, but that color was so close. So Troy's is green, ours is blue, Tell Cities is red, and Canton, I'm not for sure what their colors are. But that way we can distinguish what is being brought in, and we don't have to pay for somebody to bring their trash and it be taken out of the solid waste fees.
Well, we were finding that if you put the tag in the front windshield of your vehicle, it'll fade.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's really hard to distinguish unless you sit down there and read it, whether it's a county ticket or a Tell City ticket or.
Well, it's too close to color.
Yep.
I
So
mean,
we
it's
just changed them when the new batch came in, so ours is distinctly different.
Yeah, we just went
It's
through,
easier for them to make sure.
did we go through 14,000 or 16,000 tags
What, a year?
since last year?
Oh, I think we ordered 50 or 60,000.
Okay, well,
That's a bunch,
That's a bunch.
so. Yeah. Next we have up here is our community crossings.
We went to Thomas Glass first.
Did I say I put Thomas on mine lower? Community crossing, that's just our letter of intent, correct, Steve, that we sign every time that, just to approve the fact that we're gonna apply for community crossings, which we've done forever and ever. So I don't think there's a big issue. I entertain a motion to approve the solicitation of community crossings grant funding.
I make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
When does that have to be in, Steve?
It opens September the 1st and it closes September, the last day of September.
Okay, 30 days in.
Then the next,
Quite a bit of information I have to gather.
Mm-hmm.
then the next item we have here is Thomas Glass. We had I think a glass that was broke out of the front part of the courthouse entrance. And I'm sure it's a safety glass because it's next to the doors. So it was replaced and we need to pay him out of something. Anybody has, I think we've expended our maintenance on the courthouse.
Courthouse maintenance was cut, so there's not enough money in there.
I think it's around $1,000.
Yeah, it's a little over 1,000, I think.
1,054.
2054, 24.
I mean, I can take it and do an additional out of general, or we can pay it somewhere else. I just bring it to you guys first. See what you want me to ask them.
For maintenance is taken, I would say general.
Okay, I'm okay with that. So you want us to make a motion, pay it out of general? I'd entertain a motion to pay the Thomas Glass bill. out of the general fund as an additional appropriation. That'll have to get approval from the council.
Council.
So,
I make a motion?
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
That's it on our agenda. Our next meeting is Tuesday, September the 8th at 9 a.m. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion?
Thank you.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Oh, you want to talk to me? What is it? Okay. You gonna give me some more history?